Well, hello. Earlier this week, I gave you my first impressions of, in fact, I just recorded it like 2 minutes ago, because I'm still wearing the same clothes. But I would have released a video about the Platinum Curidas, which is Platinum's entry into the retractable fountain pen market. What I want to do with today's video is something I don't normally do, I haven't done in a long time, which is do a little pen rodeo. I want to compare Platinum Caritas to the Lommy Dialog 3, the Pilot Vanishing Point, and the Pilot Fermo. I can't compare it to the Pilot Decimo because I don't own one. So let's dive into it. If videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And do you have experience with the with the Curidas, or do you have a favorite retractable fountain pen? Let us know down in the comments. So let's take a look. All right, so I have here the Pilot Fermo, which I believe is discontinued. This is Pilot's Twist fountain pen. Next to it, I should have, but don't, my slightly inked Pilot Vanishing Point. So put that in its proper place. Then I have the Lamy Dialog 3. And finally, the Platinum Caritas. So I want to compare them, but these are very different pens. One difference you'll notice right away, these three are more expensive. These three are made of metal. So they automatically have a feel of more quality. When you see injection molded plastic like this, it just, whether fair or not, it does look cheaper. I enjoy the fact that I can see the mechanism on the inside, but your mileage may vary on that. So we'll start with the Platinum Caritas. We're going to look at how the nib comes out. You can see there's a little door here, flaps up as I'm pushing this down, and that's why this little nubbin is on the back of the pen, and the nib comes out. It seems to be a modified version of the the Platinum Preppy. One thing I noticed while filming my first impressions video, I'll just insert footage from the first impressions video, I'll cheat, but basically it is cracked. And that was before I'd used the pen, before I'd done anything with it. Cracked. So I'm waiting to hear from the retailer. Perhaps by the time this is published I'll know. I'll probably put a comment in my channel feed when I find out, but you know. So the same idea here. You can't see it very well, but yeah, see there's a door, flaps up out of the way as the nib is advanced. In the Fermo, yes, I have to turn it instead of pushing a button. But same idea, door flaps up out of the way. The Lamy, a little fancier door, a little neater operation, but you know, flops up out of the way. Another thing that a lot of them have in common that I don't like, this clip is annoying. I don't like it there on my grip. This clip is annoying. I don't like it there on my grip. This clip is annoying. I don't like it there on my grip. But one thing that Lamy does that's a little different, it's subtle, but as you advance the nib, watch the, oops, I'm turning the wrong way. Watch the clip, especially watch right there. The clip retracts a fraction of a millimeter. Now, is that amazing? No, but you know, it works. It does definitely make the clip less annoying and in the way. Platinum, to their credit, just said, hey, let's just move the clip down a bit. So it's not in the way. This nubbin here on the back happens to be out of my way. So I'm happy. And you can remove the clip entirely, although you're left with this little keel here that holds the clip in place. So, your mileage may vary on that. But, it's perfectly comfortable to hold. Now, the mechanism, I can't see it all on any of these pens except the platinum, but we'll just open up each one. So to make sure that this nib unit goes in right, there's a track. And we've got this whole deal. Long, very thin feed and nib. I had, this was a bugger to fill because my ink was low and I got paper there. So let's pull that out. Very hard to fill because my ink was low. This is a gold nib. Can you see that? But it says Pilot 18 karat at the front of the nib. There's some other writing to the back. I'm not really sure what it means. But, we can't make out any of the other mechanism. There's a spring down in there. There's obviously some kind of a mechanism here to advance, by pushing on this, essentially. I've not had trouble with it causing ink eruptions, so there is that. So pretty easy, pretty straightforward. And you can replace that whole mechanism. If you want a new nib, that's what you do, is you replace that whole thing. Now the drawback here, nobody's saying anything important. Retract the nib, wait. Oh, they're talking again. Oh, can't do that. Let's try one-handed. It's almost kind of at the extreme of what my fingers can do to twist it open. I can do it, but it's kind of a mess. Now, this is a Pilot Vanishing point. This is a cheap one, if there is such a thing, because it has a steel nib. This one, same mechanism inside. Now, you can tell this is a steel nib, because it doesn't say anything about being 18 karat there, just Pilot and all that jazz. Rides in the same track. This mechanism would be more familiar like in a ballpoint. That plastic bit holds the pen and pushes everything down. In fact, if you buy the cartridge version of this, or if you put a cartridge in this instead of the converter, you need a metal shield over the cartridge because it'll get all sorts of messed up. But writing along, oops, boring, just waiting. Oh, he's talking. Bang, writing. And then the Lamy Dialog 3. Another twist mechanism. So I have to remove this bit, which is used to turn down here. But if I want to pull things out to clean, I've got to unscrew this unit. But the nice thing here, and this is a gold nib, but this is a Lamy Safari nib. So any nibs that fit the Lamy Safari will fit in this pen. This is gold. I can get steel nibs if I want to. I've got options with this pen. So I don't have to replace the whole thing. The converter is not the converter that fits in the Lamy Safari. It's their other one, and I can't keep their numbers straight. And I was going to write it down, but then I forgot, so I didn't. Look down in here. It's got the mechanism and stuff. So we'll screw that back in. Screw this back in. And there's really nothing in this part. We know it's screwed back together when the stripes line up. And okay, so it's not as much of a turn, but doing it one-handed, yes, I can do it. It's not as extreme as the Fermo, but it is a bit of a turn. Make of that what you will. So I think the clicking mechanism is the easiest, but Lamy are, they're engineers. They think through the function of their product quite a lot. So I know there's a reason they picked the screw type mechanism, I just don't know what it is. And then finally the Curidas. Speaking of engineering degrees, so this bit just unscrews, which is fine. If I want to refill the cartridge or converter, though, you will see here the metal shield for the converter for the cartridge is just built in, so that's not a problem. But if I want to refill it, see this little track here, this U-shaped track, I have to push down, twist, pull back up, out it comes. I could probably dip and refill this way, but if I actually want to remove the converter, I've got another track here. I have to turn and pull. So, you can see what to do, but it is more complicated. It's not just immediately obvious. So put it back together. And it's their little trick to make sure you line everything up right, because otherwise you don't want the nib coming out at a weird angle. The other thing, this clip is removable. This is the only one among them that's removable. I'm not going to do it. I did it in my first impression. You can just go watch that. But basically, this tool forces the clip to widen off of the ears, and then I just push, and what a pain. So I probably will never do that again. I would say if you're going to remove the clip, you're going to keep it off forever. You'll still be left with the little keel that holds the clip, and I don't know, these little nodules here didn't bother me when I tried it clipless, but So, and then this keel, of course, you can't remove because the door opens into it. So what are you going to do? All right, so I think we've seen how they look. Let's take a look at how they write. So I won't do the full review with the quote and everything with these pens. I just want to give you a sense of how they write. So well, since the Curidas is what inspired this, we'll just use the Curidas to make the title here. Our first one is the Platinum Caritas. This has a medium nib in it. Oh, see, now the little clip is bothering me. So it has a medium nib in it. It could be the position I'm sitting. Like I said, I haven't used this for long. The ink I have in it is Lamy Black. And we'll just do a couple swirls. And this thing, just to give you an idea how it acts. And let's just do a short Pierre Gustafson test. And it has no problem with that. Next, I'm going to do the Lommy Dialog 3. I think you can tell this is a much wetter pen. This has an oblique medium nib in it. And the ink in it is Iroshizuku. Shizuku Kon-peki. And again, some little swirls. And whatever that proves. Yeah, that's wet. And an impromptu Pierre Gustafson test. Passes it with flying colors. Pilot Vanishing point with a steel nib, it should be noted. I believe it's a medium. Just double check my Evernote here. Yes, that's a medium. Okay, and the ink in it is, I'm drawing a blank, there we go, Iroshizuku. And now see, this clip is bothering me. It does have a nice quality feel just because it's metal. The platinum does not have that. That's somewhat wet. We can also tell I've had a few videos today. So, that nib has no trouble keeping up. And my last one, which I believe is discontinued, the Pilot Fermo. The Decimo, I should add, is a smaller version of the Vanishing point. This one is a gold nib, but again, that clip is annoying. The ink in this one is Colorverse. Interstellar Space. This is a very fine nib. Japanese fines tend to be more fine than the European or American versions. And, swirls. A little wet, nothing amazing. So I don't know. Make of that what you will. I think the Lommy Dialog is the best one there. My feeling on the Dialog has always been it's a little too big around, but it can be gotten used to. You may have noticed that you never see the Vanishing Point or the Fermo inked up. There's a reason for that. I don't really enjoy writing with them. And there was some finishes that have come out with the Vanishing Point. I go, ooh, that's pretty, and I want, and never buy because I don't like them. They're not comfortable pens. The Curidas, I think I need more time with it. They've really worked on my main objection, which was the clip. I don't think it's a very elegant solution. So, last thing I always like to do is see how and I don't think I was doing that back when I reviewed the other pens. Let's see how the clip works. So this shirt has a hole here for pens. So the Curidas is very tight. Vanishing Point goes in with not a whole lot of trouble. The Fermo, if I can find the hole here, that's not the pen's fault, that's the operator. Goes in without much trouble. And the Dialog actually goes in with not a whole lot of trouble. So, I think I told you the best one there is the Lamy Dialog. I would put the Curidas above the Vanishing Point. Yes, it's a little bit lower quality pen. It has steel nib, definitely very plasticky, and I'm not thrilled about the crack in the feed. And that is apparently a thing that has been showing up. But on the whole, I'm pleased with it. And I like having I won't call it a budget option in the retractable fountain pen world, but definitely a lower cost option. It puts it in the range of more people. So, and I think that's what Platinum was going for. They weren't going for an elite fountain pen here. Just got to figure out the quality control on the feeds there. So, if a retractable fountain pen makes sense in your world, the Caritas is a good one. And I personally think that the best operation for retractable is that. That's easy. This one takes a little bit more push because it's, probably 2 centimeters long. This one can be done one-handed. It's a little awkward, but it's, enough turn with, let's see, less than 180 degrees turn. So that's pretty good. A little awkward. You'll probably end up doing it two-handed. This one is at the extreme end of two-handed. It's definitely more than 180 degree turn. almost beyond the limits of what my fingers can do. So, that said, I hope that at least enlightened you about the differences. A big problem with me making recommendations is how much of this comes down to personal preference. Do you want a light fountain pen? The Platinum Curidas is by far the lightest because it's plastic. The other three are metal. Do you want a big fountain pen? Lommy Dialog 3. Do you want a clicky pen? Do you want a rotating pen? And to be fair, Pilot does have the smaller Decimo option, which I've never tried and probably never will because I don't like their whole form factor. So, anyway, hope that was interesting. Hope was useful. Thank you for watching. And if videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old, and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And in the comments, leave a comment. What's your verdict? Is there one you like best? Is there one you absolutely despise? Maybe there's one out there I don't know about. Let us know down in the comments. So I want to thank you for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye. As I'm editing this video together, I just thought I would update you that Dan Smith of the Nib Smith, which is the retailer where I purchased the pen, has agreed to take the pen back. He's going to contact the distributor of the pen and hopefully make it right in one way or another. So I'll update you as that happens, but when you have a good retailer, and I don't blame him at all, you need to give him a shout out. So shout out to Dan Smith. So thank you.